Hello, beautiful soul. How are you? I am sharing with you. It is actually Christmas Day, and I have been enjoying some quiet time, downtime, family time, and something came up just reflecting on values and boundaries, which I know is kind of a hot topic for so many people this year, as our boundaries have been like erased with so much being at home and working from home and all of that. But I want to share something with you from the Real Self Love Handbook. And it will help you if you need help defining your values. So one of the things that I wrote in the book is this: values are your driving force and your motivation. It's a part of you that is intrinsically you. What you value in life can be clearly reflected in your lifestyle, relationships, and your career. I say it can be seen in those areas, but we all know that sometimes we tolerate situations and people that don't really match our ideals. But if you are really living in full integrity, aligning your life with your values, then everything in those areas would match. Now, there are a lot of influences on our values, our family system, the society, there's so many things. But I want you to be able to define your values for yourself. Sure, we may have been brought up in a certain culture, and for me, growing up the way I did, there was a high value on education. There was a high value on being articulate. But when I look at now the things, removing kind of the parental influence, the things that govern my life are integrity, authenticity, compassion. And so these values are what I use to establish boundaries. So if you've struggled with saying no to people, or you find that people pleasing is a part of you, then what you need to start to do is kind of rewind and find out what you truly value for yourself. So in people pleasing, the pure value would be like, I want harmony in my relationships. But if you're going out of your way to please others at the expense of yourself, that's not creating harmony for yourself. Do you see what I mean? So in the book, in the Real Self Love Handbook, I have listed the qualities in 2 tables here. And I will put this on my blog, so even if you don't have the book, you can see it. But there are fear-based values that drive a lot of us. Things like competition, scarcity, self-interest, like I got to get mine. Conformity is a fear-based value. Victimhood, criticizing, blaming, resentment. But then on the flip side, there are love-based values like collaboration, expansion, creativity, abundance, integrity, celebration, generosity, forgiveness, compassion, inspiration, and hope. And so what you'll see is that if you start to really define your values, and when you think of those words, like what does it bring up for you, like energetically, that feeling in your body, then if you find yourself in a situation, again, tuning into your body or whatever sense like triggers you, if you feel that something is wrong, like you're hanging out with someone or you see some content or you're listening to something and it rubs you the wrong way, however that looks for you, then what you see is that your values are being challenged. So the basic example that so many of us use is if you and I set an appointment and we're supposed to meet at the top of the hour and you don't show up, well, I have a high value on open, clear communication and my time, for example. And so if you didn't show up, well, I might feel angry, irritated, frustrated. If I feel like you're violating like my time or my trust, I also may feel worried and compassionate, like what happened? Did they get stuck? Is there something wrong with their kid or whatever? But whenever you feel something coming up, you know that your values are at play, whether they're being challenged or you need to defend them. And so that's one way that you can start to unravel all of the ways that you're living out of integrity with your values, or you recognize that you're living by a value that doesn't suit you anymore. So for me, in my early days of being this overachiever, felt like I always had to be doing. For me to take as much time off as I've taken, this year, it would have brought up feelings of fear and judgment and criticism and, worrying what are people going to think. And if I look back on where is the source of that self-judgment and criticism and fear, it came from this belief that you're only worth something if you're being productive, So when you recognize that placing the value on a human life based on productivity, I know that that's not true. I could start to look for myself and say, wait a minute, Dre, whether you do work or don't do work, you are valuable at your core, period, no matter what you do or don't do. And so setting up my life to honor this human body that I've been gifted so that it gets the rest and the nourishment and the play and the exercise and the meditation that I need to feel fulfilled, I had to kind of uncouple this belief about my worth and recognize that I am worthy no matter what I do or don't do. And taking time off is totally legit. And I've seen so many of my clients who struggle with that as well. They feel like, oh my gosh, if I don't answer these emails right away, if I don't post, content every day or whatever the thing is, that it's tied to this sense of self-worth or shame or blame. And then unraveling that, you can start to flip the script so that you establish your values based on what you really care about and what's real and true for you. And so this is all part of this unlearning some of the behavioral programs and the emotional patterns that we were taught or we took on as a result of early life and rewriting them. And it's going to take practice. So be patient with yourself. It's not like you're going to just write down, this is my value. I value myself. I value my time. And think that it's going to just go away, because we've been programmed, which means we've got brain circuits that have like grooves in them. And those are the most reliable pathways because we've used them for so long. So, in my case, I really had to remind myself and continue to practice setting new boundaries, relaxing on some of these unrealistic goals and expectations. And over time, by reinforcing it and adding in positivity so that I could feel good. I don't want to feel bad, and I don't want you to feel bad. But as you add in the positivity to feel good, you create new pathways. So practicing compassion is not just some trendy thing that everyone's talking about, and neuroscience is now proving that it's worthy. It's something that is fundamental to good health, good psychological well-being. So grab a copy of the Real Self Love Handbook and check out the section about values. And the audiobook, if you like, you can listen to me for nearly 10 hours. The link to the audiobook is in the description and in my bio. So anyway, I just wanted to share this little tidbit with you around your values. Type in the comments, what are the values that you live by? And what are the ones that you're struggling with or challenged with? And if you need some support there, let me know. I'd be happy to help. Sending you much love on this beautiful Christmas week. No matter where you are in the world or whatever it is you celebrate, know that I am sending you love and compassion from France. Until next time, ciao.